Emotions are welling up as the Dominion monarch moves slowly to her berth at Pipitier Wharf. For the Maori people, this is the ship they've been waiting for. Down the gangway come men of the Maori Battalion, 780 men of a battalion that was volunteered 2 days after war began. They fought through Greece and Crete, in Egypt, Libya and Tunisia, through Italy to Trieste. Their casualty rate was 5 in 7. In the words of their commander, they return not as conquering heroes, but as the remnant of a brave battalion.
My lord. Uncle.
Darkness in the bitter watches of the night, when all your life seems to shrink.
At 400,000, he'll bid me 410.
This is where Aucklanders' housing dreams crash into reality. We can't show the buyers' faces, but the real estate agents there told the story.
400,000 back of the room. 600, like that better. 600,000 bid now.
The people here were largely Asian, and they had money to spend. It's highly likely that many of the buyers are looking for investment properties. Many may well not be resident in New Zealand.
800, good bid. 800,000.
Here's the other side of the Auckland housing story. Hopeful young buyers looking at new properties to raise families and wondering how they can afford them.
I think a lot of first home buyers want to buy a house which is near new and is presented perfectly in a suburb which is fantastic, but I think that's somewhat unrealistic.
To get a basic like 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house, you're looking around like 400,000 these days, and that's like an 80 grand deposit, and it's just absolutely, it's crazy.
Overseas investors basically should be supporting the country by building new homes and not buying existing house builds.
Or they had to go and live in somewhere like Hamilton or a smaller town for a year and then move in.
For young people, the Kiwi quarter-acre Pavlova paradise looks a long way off. We've talked about long-term solutions, we've talked about infrastructure, we've talked about tax, and you saw the clip. What about the foreigners? What about the houses that are owned by people who do not live here? And whether or not we have statistics, the anecdotal evidence that those people are outbidding New Zealanders and making them tenants literally in their own land.
His government refuses to even collect the data. They don't want to know what the facts are.
Let me come to this. Every time in my political career the country's got a tricky problem, I don't care whether it's unemployment, whether it's issues of crime and now housing, the cheapest, lowest political trick in the book is to say it's all those damn foreigners and immigrants that's the problem.
That is intellectually dishonest for you to say that.
Let's look at the data. That's
there is no data.
No, yes, there is.
You refuse to collect the data.
No, that's not correct. Let me take you through that.
You don't want to know what the data says, that's why.
IRD records the number of people who are overseas resident who are renting and receiving a rental income. It's been 2.5%. It's been constant for the last 5 years. But, of course, of that 2.5...
Did you see the pictures at the top of the program?
Oh, yeah, but look, I tell you, 40% of the population of Auckland is now of Asian descent.
Nick, I'll quote to you. I'll quote to you from the Landlord's blog site. 80% of home buyers in North Shore Auckland are bussed off planes direct from China. About 50 prospects are taken on whirlwind bus tours to buy virtually unseen 50 houses at a time.
Nick, you're in denial.
No, I'm not. And I simply say, Phil, you are playing the lowest card in the book, and that is to blame foreigners and immigrants for a problem that's fundamentally
It's the responsibility of the New Zealand government to look after New Zealanders, not speculators on the other side of the world.
Our problem is to look at the facts, not the rhetoric.
You should look after New Zealanders.
Jeff?
Well, the main issue is that we're hassling foreigners for investing in housing. And they're doing it for the same reason we don't, because it's not taxed.
That's right.
it's the only asset in New Zealand. It's the only investment in New Zealand that is not taxed. So of course foreigners are going to want to invest in it, as we have for decades.
Should they be stopped from doing so? Would it make a difference to the affordability of housing?
Well, certainly if you reduce the demand for speculation, then it will...
Look, sure, real estate companies are marketing New Zealand houses in China because there's no capital gains tax.
Oliver Hartwich, do you think it would make a difference if we restricted foreign ability to buy here?
I think the foreigners issue is a sideshow. It is a complete sideshow. We had a look at some data that's available. I wish there would be more data available publicly, but I think it is a complete sideshow. There are other factors that are far more important that we're neglecting. For example, we've got an ageing population, and that will need different housing in the future.
All right, we are out of time. I would like to thank all four of you for what has been a very interesting debate. The politicians will stick around with us to talk about the campaign. After the break, we're going to hear what's gone wrong and what's gone right on the campaign trail this week.